Night. Heavy rain falls over the forests of Washington state. 30,000 feet above the ground, a commercial airplane cuts through the dark sky. Inside the aircraft, the rear stairs slowly open. Cold wind roars into the cabin. A man in a black suit stands at the edge, a parachute on his back, a bag filled with $200,000 in cash tied to his waist. For a moment, he looks down into the darkness. Then he jumps. The plane disappears into the night sky, and the man known as D.B. Cooper is never seen again. More than 50 years later, the mystery remains unsolved. Who was he, and how did he vanish without a trace? On November 24, 1971, a quiet man boarded a short commercial flight in the United States. Within hours, he would commit one of the most mysterious crimes in aviation history. He would hijack a plane, demand ransom money, and then disappear into the night. But the real mystery is what happened after the jump. Did D.B. Cooper survive, or did the forest below become his grave? The early 1970s were a different time for air travel. Airports had almost no security. No ID checks, no metal detectors, no baggage scanners. Passengers could walk into an airport, buy a ticket with cash, and board a plane within minutes. It was simple, but it was also dangerously vulnerable. And on a quiet afternoon in Portland, Oregon, one passenger was about to take advantage of it. The man approaches the airline ticket counter. He buys a one-way ticket. The name on the ticket reads Dan Cooper. His destination is Seattle. The flight number is Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305. The short trip, just 30 minutes. Witnesses later describe him the same way. Mid-40s, calm, polite, well-dressed, dark suit, white shirt, black tie. He wears dark sunglasses despite the cloudy sky. Nothing about him seems suspicious. Nothing about him stands out. To everyone around him, he is just another passenger. But inside his briefcase, he carries something that will soon terrify an entire airplane. At 2:50 p.m., Flight 305 takes off from Portland. The aircraft is a Boeing 727. There are 36 passengers on board. The flight is expected to be routine. Dan Cooper sits quietly in seat 18C, near the back of the plane. Shortly after takeoff, he calls over a flight attendant. Her name is Florence Schaffner. Cooper hands her a folded note. At first, she assumes it is just a phone number, a passenger trying to flirt. She slips the paper into her purse. Then Cooper leans closer. His voice is calm, almost polite. "Miss, you better read that note." Florence slowly takes the paper out. She opens it, and her heart suddenly begins to race. The message is short, simple, terrifying. "I have a bomb in my briefcase." She looks up at him. Cooper calmly opens the briefcase. Inside, she sees red cylinders, wires, batteries, objects that appear to resemble a bomb. The quiet passenger now controls the entire aircraft. Cooper speaks calmly, almost casually. He explains exactly what he wants. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting when the plane lands. The message is quietly delivered to the cockpit. The pilots contact air traffic control. Within minutes, the FBI becomes involved. Authorities in Seattle scramble to gather the ransom money. Every bill is photographed, every serial number recorded. Meanwhile, the plane continues, circling in the sky. Buying time. Inside the cabin, most passengers remain unaware. They drink coffee. They read newspapers. They talk about holiday plans. But at the back of the plane, a man sits calmly beside what appears to be a bomb, waiting. At 5:39 p.m., Flight 305 finally lands in Seattle. Police surround the runway, but Cooper has very clear instructions. First, all passengers must leave the aircraft. One by one, the passengers walk off the plane. None of them realize they have just witnessed the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries in American history. Soon the ransom arrives, a large bag filled with $200,000 in $20 bills, along with 4 parachutes, everything Cooper demanded. Now the plane is nearly empty. Only the crew remains, and the mysterious hijacker sitting quietly near the back. Cooper gives his final instructions. He wants the plane refueled, then he wants to take off again. His destination, Mexico City. But Cooper demands very unusual flying conditions. The plane must fly low, around 10,000 feet, at slow speed, with the landing gear partially lowered. The crew is confused. Why would anyone want to fly like this? Then Cooper reveals the reason. He plans to jump from the airplane while it is still flying. At 8 p.m., Flight 305 takes off once again. The sky outside is dark. Heavy rain begins falling over Washington State. Inside the cabin, Cooper calmly prepares the parachutes. And somewhere below the aircraft, miles of forests stretch into the darkness. Soon, D.B. Cooper will make his move, and the mystery that follows will puzzle investigators for decades. D.B. Cooper, the man who vanished into the night, covers the forests of Washington State. Rain falls heavily across the dark wilderness below. Inside Flight 305, the cabin is nearly empty. Only the flight crew remains. Somewhere in the rear of the aircraft, D.B. Cooper prepares for his escape. He ties the bag of ransom money around his waist. $200,000, all in $20 bills. Then he straps on a parachute. The plane continues flying south, exactly as Cooper demanded. Low altitude, slow speed, landing gear partially lowered. Inside the cockpit, the pilots remain tense. They cannot see what Cooper is doing. They can only wait. Suddenly, a warning light appears. The rear staircase has been activated. Cold air begins rushing into the aircraft. The pilots look at each other. No one says a word. They know what is happening. At *8:13 p.m., the plane suddenly shifts. A strange movement runs through the aircraft, like a sudden change in weight. Something or someone has left the plane. Somewhere over the dark forests below, D.B. Cooper has jumped. And just like that, he disappears into the storm. Within hours, the FBI launches a massive investigation. The operation is given a name, *NORJAK, short for *Northwest Hijacking. Agents begin searching the area where Cooper may have landed. Helicopters fly over the forests. Soldiers search through the mountains. Divers explore nearby rivers. But the landscape is enormous. Miles of thick forest, steep valleys, endless wilderness. If Cooper landed somewhere out there, finding him would be nearly impossible. Days pass, then weeks. Investigators search desperately for clues. They examine fingerprints from the plane. They collect the *black clip-on tie Cooper left behind. They interview witnesses. They analyze the ransom money. But the deeper the investigation goes, the stranger the mystery becomes. No parachute is found. No body is discovered. No trace of Cooper appears anywhere. It is as if the hijacker vanished the moment he hit the ground. Over the years, the FBI investigates hundreds of possible suspects. Some are criminals. Some are former soldiers. Some are experienced skydivers. Each theory seems promising at first, but every lead eventually falls apart. One question continues to puzzle investigators. Why would someone attempt such a dangerous jump? The conditions that night were brutal. Heavy rain, strong winds, freezing temperatures. And Cooper jumped, wearing only a * business suit and loafers. Many experts believe surviving the jump would have been extremely difficult. But others disagree. Some investigators believe Cooper may have had parachute training, perhaps even military experience. If that were true, the jump might have been possible. But without evidence, the mystery only deepens. For nearly a decade, the case goes cold. No new clues. No confirmed sightings. No answers. Then, in *1980*, something unexpected happens. A young boy named Brian Ingram is playing along the banks of the Columbia River. He is digging in the sand during a family camping trip. Suddenly, he uncovers something strange: bundles of old, decaying cash. 3 separate stacks of $20 bills. Investigators quickly examine the money. The serial numbers match the ransom from the hijacking. Nearly $5,800 of Cooper's money has been found 9 years after the crime. But the discovery raises even more questions. How did the money end up buried along the riverbank? Did Cooper lose it during the jump? Did it wash downstream over time? Or did someone place it there later? No one can explain it, and the mystery only grows deeper. Years turn into decades. The FBI continues investigating the case. New suspects appear. New theories emerge. Some people believe Cooper died in the wilderness that night. The forests of Washington are harsh and unforgiving. Without proper gear, survival would have been extremely difficult. Others believe Cooper succeeded, that he landed safely and quietly disappeared into a new life. Maybe he watched the news reports about the hijacking. Maybe he followed the investigation from a distance. Or maybe the truth is far simpler. Maybe the man known as D.B. Cooper was never identified because no one ever suspected him. In *2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI officially closes the case. Not because the mystery was solved, but because every possible lead had been exhausted. Even today, the identity of D.B. Cooper remains unknown. He boarded a plane, hijacked it without violence, collected a ransom, and then vanished into the night. The case changed aviation forever. After the hijacking, aircraft were modified with a device known as the Cooper vane, a small mechanism that prevents the rear stairs of a Boeing 727 from opening during flight. Airport security also changed dramatically. Passenger screening became stricter. Identification checks became standard. In many ways, the mysterious hijacker reshaped modern air travel. Yet the biggest question still remains: did D.B. Cooper survive his jump? Or did the stormy forests of Washington become his final resting place? More than 50 years later, the mystery still waits for an answer. And somewhere out there, the truth about D.B. Cooper may still be hidden.